Yo, 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 ladies and fucking gentlemen, I'm back once again with another one. This your motherfucking boy, King Known, NBA and Music Talk, aka King Known Uncensored, and we back with another one. So, just a warning. If you are sensitive, are you a sensitive bronze sexual that worships LeBron? If you are, I advise that you get up off this video right now, because we're going to tell some truths here. A lot of people, especially LeBron fans, will not like this, but you've been warned. So, in 2010, I think this was 2010. 2010, LeBron James was eliminated from the playoffs. I'm trying to remember who it was that eliminated him that year. It was Boston. It was Boston Celtics in 2010. And I think that they got eliminated in 6 games, because I remember the announcer saying that the Cavaliers quit in game 6. They quit. They didn't fight to the end. Like the year before in 2009, I believe that was the year that they went 7 with Boston. And, they were basically, a bucket away from the Eastern Conference Finals, if I'm not mistaken. Because 2009, it was the Magic and the Celtics, right? In the Eastern Conference Finals. Or, you know what? 2009, they lost against the Magic. My bad. That was 2008 that it came down to a bucket. My fault, y'all. But 2009, it was Magic versus Cavs, and LeBron, lost. And then 2010, they were accused of quitting in the fourth quarter, by the announcers, them as a team, not just Bron, but everybody around him, from Delonte to, Ilgauskas, Drew Gooden. I don't think Larry Hughes was there. I think it was Mo Williams. But yeah, this was a 61-win season too. LeBron James announced, this was his first free agency, understandable, but he decided to make a spectacle of this. He decided to, go on TV, broadcast where he's going to go in free agency. Now, when I was younger, I was a little bit more verbally abusive at the time. But now, now that we're grown, now that we're 36 years old, we can see things from a different scope. But I kind of remember having an ounce of maturity at the time as well, too. A little ounce. Because you got to think about it. LeBron was either going to go to Cleveland or Miami. Stay in Cleveland or go to Miami. And he broadcasted that shit live. And once he made his decision to go to Miami, I was just like, if he wants to, be loyal, he would stay in Cleveland. If he wants to win a championship, he would go to Miami, because Chris Bosh was already there, Dwayne Wade was already there, and there had been discussions amongst, multiple players. It could have been Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, and Carmelo Anthony. It could have been Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, Amari Stoudemire. A lot of the players got together to see, it could have been LeBron, Dwayne Wade, and Derrick Rose. But however, LeBron chose Miami with Bosh and Wade. Bosh was coming off his best season. The season before, he had just took the Raptors to their first playoffs in a long time since Vince Carter left. And he basically carried them, to the playoffs. They didn't do that hot. They lost in 5 games in the first round. But Bosh was a superstar. Top 10 player, easily. One of the best power forwards in the game. Top 5, easily. Top 10 player for sure. Dwayne Wade was a top 5 player. LeBron James was a top 5 player in 2010 when they all teamed up. So you got 3 top 10 players on one team in their prime. I believe that Wade and Bron were both 26. think Bosh was older. I think he was like 29 at the time. I don't know. Let me check the roster here. But this decision right here, let me get to the damn fucking part. All right. But this decision shook up the whole NBA. This was the highlight of the offseason. This was a lot. Actually, I was wrong. Bron was 26. Chris Bosh was 26. D. Wade was 29. Because Dwayne Wade already had a championship. It was Bron and Chris Bosh that were going to his team to win a championship. I remember the fallout. You either loved it as a LeBron fan or you hated it as a basketball fan, because a lot of people would deem this as cowardly. I think it was kind of cowardly how he ran out on his own city. But from looking at LeBron's perspective, though, LeBron never got that legit number 2 option. You know, they tried with Mo Williams. They tried with Antoine Jameson. And those guys weren't good enough for his standards. He wanted to play with another superstar player. And Cleveland could have brought in Amari Stoudemire, but they chose not to. So after that, Bron was like, fuck y'all. I'm going to team up with 2 young niggas, because you got to think about it. Kobe just got another ring. They were shook. Dwayne Wade has admitted this in interviews that the league was shook. Kobe just got his 5th ring. I got 1. Bron ain't got none. Bosh ain't got none. Let's team up. Boston won their championship in 2008, and they got together to stop Boston and LA. That's why they teamed up. And they pretty much monopolized the Eastern Conference to ruins. They ruined Toronto. They ruined Cleveland. They basically ripped a hole in the Eastern Conference. Then the next season after that, they ruined Boston by taking Ray Allen from them. You know, because, I mean, Ray Allen left for good reason. He was about to get benched for Avery Bradley because Avery Bradley defends better. So they asked Ray Allen to come off the bench, and they were paying him more money. Then Ray Allen was just like, shit, I'm going to go to the Heat for the minimum. And he broke up that Boston shit. Because Ray Allen was very pivotal in their offense despite them cutting his minutes. He still was an elite 3-point shooter. Then Miami already having Mario Chalmers, Udonis Haslem, Birdman Anderson, Shane Battier, Mike Miller, Rashard Lewis. Guys like that already. And then for Ray Allen to just go over there, that was an even bigger bitch move than the LeBron one, in my opinion. So what I'm trying to say is the decision changed the NBA. It made the players have a lot more power, for better or for worse, which I think it was definitely for worse, because now players are super prima donna when it never used to be like that. Players used to actually want to play for something, Now guys just want to make money and barely play 82 games. LeBron, unfortunately, cleared the way for all that. I respect LeBron for getting niggas overpaid, Let them overcharge for what they did to the Cold Crush. I get that. But having guys that aren't even top 10 players in the NBA act like divas, that was influence from you, Bron. Doing the decision hurt the game more than it helped. Now you had guys trying to form big threes, like Kevin Durant tried to do it twice. Kevin Durant going to Golden State. You had failed big threes with Kyrie and KD and James Harden. You had Russell Westbrook trying to team up with him with AD and LeBron. We had the failed Russ, Carmelo with them niggas. It was just not good times for the NBA. Then you got Devin Booker, KD, and Bradley Beal trying to team up. It's the negative effects for me. That's why, that was the domino effect of the decision. But now, in 2025. Now you got a new decision coming out on October the 7th. And, you know, you can't forget LeBron saying not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, and only winning 2 out of 4. Can't forget that. You know, the Miami thing was a failure. I think those guys should have won at least 3 out of 4 of those championships. That's just me. But now LeBron's in a different stage of his career. Now he's much older, still putting up decent numbers. But now, you know what I think is going to happen? Because you got to think about it. LeBron opted into his contract purposely. So I kind of believe that he's going to play this season, now that I think about it. He's going to pay. But I think this is going to be his final season. That's what I think. It's going to be a farewell tour. It's going to be the LeBron tour. You know, everybody's going to be on his balls, on his ball sack. Everybody's going to be dick riding. And I just think that that's just what it's going to be. I think it's going to be his last season. He's going to announce retirement after next season. And I think that's a good thing. Because it's time for the game to move on from the LeBron era. Should have been moved on from that era a while back. You know, the LeBron era has been over. We know that this man is never going to win another title. He's going to put up good numbers, but that's all you're going to really get. He might make the playoffs this year because the Lakers have Luka Doncic, a top 5 player in basketball. So they're going to make the playoffs. Maybe even get through a round of the playoffs, especially if they're healthy. But I see him retiring, you know, because they've announced that the decision part 2 is happening on October the 7th. So I think that this season is going to be a farewell tour for Bron. Because, you know, LeBron always loves attention and loves all this and that. But me, you know, his retirement is good for the game. I think it's a new era of basketball. It's been a new era of basketball. You know, we watching the Shays. We watching the Jokers. We watching the Anthony Edwards. You know, we're watching the Giannis still, the Giannis part of the game. We're still watching Steph. You know, we're still, you know, we rocking with today's talent. We're rocking with Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, you know. We're rolling with the Donovan Mitchells right now. You know what I'm saying? Out with the old, in with the new. Because, you know, motherfuckers is acting all sad that he's going to leave. I'm like, LeBron played a long time. He's won 4 championships. He's a top 10 player in history. He's the greatest of all time to a lot of people. Not me, but a lot of people. So this decision part 2, it's going to be real interesting, but I think he's going to announce his retirement after this season. He's got to play. He's got to make that $52 million on his way out. So, yeah. But it's King Known Uncensored. That's my video, and I'm out.